Welcome to this exciting edition of 30 Days Teaching Series tagged Knowledge is Profit. And I also want to say welcome. Thank you so much for joining in. Today, I'm going to be letting you into my story of how I got into the speaking industry. Precisely, it happened in my final year. I became inquisitive. I wanted to know what the labor market had in store for me. I wanted to know what I was going to do outside the walls of the university. I was very inquisitive. Therefore, I embarked on a retreat. I started praying. I started reading books on purpose, on pursuit, on vision, and I got an answer. I got an answer that was going to make a living via my talent. And I was wondering, my talent, what exactly is my talent? Because as at then, an idea of talent for me was anything I could do with my hands. Probably anything I could do by making hair or sewing clothes or makeup, and I could do none of this. So I was very confused. So I went back, to ask further questions. And by this time, I got that answer that I was going to make a living via my talent, and I should look inward to see what that talent was. And it didn't take so long for me to realize that he must be speaking, because I actually love to gist, I like to talk, and I noticed that a lot of people like to stay around me to hear me speak, to hear me talk. But that was a raw talent. I needed to package it and refine it into a skill so that I can make a living out of it. I could also connect this with this newfound love in my third year, where I discovered Fela Durotoye Speakers Corner. My friends and I would go out of school and attend Speakers Corner, and that is where I met Steve Harris, Nia Adesoya, Fela Durotoye, and a couple of other people. And I said to myself that I can do what these guys are doing. So that was where the love and that was where the passion started from. So I was privileged to be part of the committee that brought Steve Harris and Fela Durotoye to my school in my final year to speak to final year students. So I was privileged to have his contact. So after school, during my service year, I picked up my phone to speak to him about the need for my talent to be reformed into a skill, and how I'd love to work in his company so that I can learn. And after drifting here and there, meetings here and there, I was given the opportunities. It was like exactly what I wanted. And Visible Impact was an amazing place to work with. Amazing people, amazing and awesome place to work. I started off in the consulting department, where Steve Harris was the head of consulting then, and I learned so much. I learned, practically everything. That place was my source. That place was my foundation. I learned so much, from how to write proposals, to how to write letters, how to talk to middle management, how to talk to newbies, how to talk to, different types of people. I learned so much there. That was like my crux, my core, and my source. Then there was this amazing lady in Visible Impact. She definitely noticed my passion to speak, my passion for youth, and she asked me if I could talk to some teenagers in our church. It was Children's Day, and definitely, it was something I definitely wanted to do, so I said yes. So I was off work, and I went to our church at Satellite Town. My mindset, my thinking was, probably just 20 or 25 teenagers in a very small church, and I'll be done in a few minutes. But when I got there, I was surprised. It was a very big church packed with several students from different schools. And in fact, I wanted to run away. I was very surprised. And I was the keynote speaker. So I didn't have a choice. I sat down through the program. And when it was my turn to come up the podium to speak, I got up, got my laptop, and started speaking. I can't remember what I spoke about, but I knew I was speaking from my heart. And it was obvious because people started standing up, to acknowledge the things that I was saying. And, I could see people's response, to a lot of things I was saying. I spoke straight up from my heart. And by the time I got off the podium, it was massive. The accolades, the resounding applause and everything. I just knew that I had found my purpose. I knew I'd found my niche. I knew that I'd found my own space. And that was it. That was it. It was the first time I'll get paid for speaking. It was the first time I'll get, testimonials from, apart from students, even their teachers. It was massive. It was my first step, coupled with a lot of other things and experiences that, that ascertained that the speaking industry was where I was supposed to be. And I chose the education industry because I could resonate. I could speak to the heart of young people, of their teachers, in order to make a change. That's my story. That's how I got into the speaking industry. So thank you for listening today. I hope you'll be able to pick one or two things. I hope you'll be able to pick that, talents do not pay you and passion will not pay the bills. Passion do not facilitate bank accounts. It is your skills that would facilitate that bank account. It is the things that you know how to do, your knowledge, that brings about the profit. I also hope you'll be able to, pick out a lesson or two that you need a place that is your own. You need a natural habitat where you can function. You need a place of purpose. You need to come in terms with your purpose. And therefore, I've designed an ebook. It's completely free. It is titled Finding Purpose. You'll find a link below. Please click so that it gets delivered to you. Thank you so much for listening today. And tomorrow promises to be very hot. Tomorrow I'm going to be talking to you about lessons that I picked up from my mentors. And it promises to be hot. I'm delivering it very, very, very hot. You need to just listen to it. You need to listen to it. Please remember that we are still going on a journey to productizing your knowledge. We are just laying the foundation. Please like, share, subscribe, and let's make profit together. See you tomorrow.